I think that let's just go back. Can we go back to the trade a little bit and think about the trade decision making? Because this is something that I haven't been able to process.
Yeah.
The Lakers don't have to bid against anyone. They get a call and they get to make this trade, and we're talking about it now. But any number of teams, we could be talking about any number of teams who could be taking on Luka Doncic. Was there a better
Who
available?
who can give them Anthony Davis? That's the part you have to remember.
Who can?
They weren't wanting to blow it up. They were just wanting to go in a different direction. I think that's the element you have to think about like that. This is not a blow it up sort of move from them. This is, we have an insanely talented player that could be the guy. We don't believe he is. So let's move him now for another guy who we have seen be the guy and still has a couple of good years left in him. That was in my mind. That's what I've come to understand. That was the Mavericks thinking. If you look around the league, where could they have got a guy who's going to slot in and be a guy who can be potentially a Finals MVP alongside on that team? That's what I'm taking away from it. I haven't really come up with another option really in my own head. Maybe you can, but I look at it that way. And also, again, we just say, like I keep on saying, teams built around two guards do not work. And this is just another example of that. But back to your point.
You need that tatted on you. That always comes up. Always comes up. I would say I'm just I mean just thinking about this now. Like who has a ton? Would I rather have Anthony Davis right now? And I didn't even want to bring this up because it's always unfair to just throw the injury card around. But it's very true with Kyrie Irving and especially with Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis has been a bit more healthy for the last couple of years. Credit to him than he has been in the more recent past. But putting all my hope in those two guys for one season is still a risk. It's still a risk. And Anthony Davis,
3 seasons.
sure. Yes. That's
I,
fair.
I,
That's
I'm
fair.
looking
That's
at it.
fair.
It's like in
That's
my
fair.
mind, this like his title window is like the length of Clay's contract. Not to say Clay is going to keep performing up until the end of his contract, but they gave Clay a 3 year deal. So like in my mind, like that's like the extent of this title window for this team.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But just thinking about the other options they have, who else is on the market? I mean, Houston's on the market. We know that the Kings are on the market. We know that the Jazz are on the market. We know that um I mean there's so many other teams with picks that are out there. And do I want to have an option to have a longer rebuild? Or do I want to just send it all right now, shorten my window to 3 years, only get one pick out of it, and hope that it works out?
The position that they're in, if you're in a position that it's obviously most of the time when we see this situation, like look back to when Davis left the Pelicans, they were basically in a position where once Anthony Davis goes, they're full rebuild mode. This was not the same thing. Dallas have a lot of talented players, a lot of guys who are coming towards the end of their career. Some of them still in the middle of their prime. Some one or two younger guys. Like they're in a position where they can still win even without Luka Doncic. So you have to find that talent that can come in and be that final piece to make this team win the title. I mean, it's so tough, but you look at other teams like a Jazz up. I'll always, if you can get the proven piece back, if you're in a position where once you get that proven piece back, you can still be a winner. You take that proven piece instead of relying on draft picks. I will always take that proven piece as long as you're still in a position to win with him. Like if they were getting back Anthony Davis, but they were also getting rid of Kyrie and like Daniel Gafford, then it wouldn't make any sense. Then you'd be like,
Yeah.
why the hell did you just get a load of picks? But that's not the way they're playing it.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like let's just make up some fake. I'm just thinking off the top of my off the dome here, but like I don't know, Orlando. Like, what if you could have gotten Franz and Black, Picks, Isaac? Get your defense, you get depth, you get more future oriented. I don't know. I mean, just think about some other defenders out there. Miami, could you have gotten like you've gotten Bam? I don't know. Like there could have been every single team in the NBA would have come to Dallas's door with an offer
True.
because Anthony Davis is that good, and they would have had to do better. And I think a lot of teams would have done their best to do better. Like, I mean, I can see a world in which I mean, Cleveland is so good, and this right now in this like little moment, Cleveland would be like, I would never sell Evan Mobley ever, but never. But in the offseason, things are a little different. Things are a little different. You have a chance to get off of the emotions of whatever 10 game winning streak you have, great record you have in the middle of the season. A lot of things change in the offseason. A lot of teams are a little more open for business. Like could the Evan Mobleys of the world have been available to the Dallas Mavericks? Anthony Davis is a very short window gamble with no with a 2029 pick. Sure. But I have to think that there was gonna be a better offer out there. Unless you think Anthony Davis was it, that and you feel very confident. I mean, I feel good, but I don't
That
feel
seems to
sure.
be the way that Dallas felt about it. Because
Yeah.
we got to remember, maybe we'll hear different things moving forward, but for right now, what we're hearing is this move was totally and completely orchestrated by Dallas.
Yeah.
This had
Yes.
nothing to do
Yes.
with Luka Doncic asking out. This was not the Lakers coming and calling them. They clearly pinpointed Anthony Davis as the guy that they wanted. They wanted to make a move for Anthony Davis. They believe in what Kyrie is doing as the point guard, as the playmaker, as the elite scorer on this team. And they said, right, let's pair him with one of the best defensive players in the NBA, who is also a legit 25 point per game scorer, and let's just bank on defense. Defense,
Yeah.
for a large part, I know Luka was a big part of it, but the change in their defense last year
Yes.
when they got PJ and Gafford was a huge part of what led them to where they were going to be. And you can make the argument now that bringing in AD, that's going to make that defense even better. It's just can the offense remain kind of top 10 level? How much they obviously didn't put too much stock in Kyrie's struggles in the NBA finals last year. That's obviously something that they've been able to forget and believe that that's not going to happen again. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's don't get me wrong, risk for sure. Instant reaction, totally fully believe that the Lakers are gonna come out as the winners of this trade. But I can see why Dallas pinpointed AD as their guy. They're trying to maximize the window that they have right now with Kyrie, with Clay. Yeah, I know we got like Gafford still in his 20s, so is PJ, so is Lively, but Kyrie and Clay, this is like a last hurrah in a sense for those two. And that's why they've gone for a guy like Anthony Davis.
Mhm. Yeah. I think I think I'll always be the type to be thinking like future oriented, but you don't have that luxury when you actually have to be the face of a franchise and you have to make a decision and deal with the immediate aftermath.